Have you ever stopped to think about why some people live in spotless homes even without spending the whole day cleaning? Why, while many of us reserve the entire Saturday for a deep cleaning marathon, in some countries that concept simply doesn't exist. I'm the facilitator, and today you're going to understand why the Swedes, the Swedes, practically don't do house cleaning. And more than that, you'll discover what they know about cleaning and organization that can completely change the way you take care of your home. Before we start, think honestly. How many hours of your week are consumed by cleaning, washing, dusting, and trying to put everything in order? Maybe the problem isn't your dedication, but something else entirely. In Sweden, the idea of cleaning day, as we know it, practically doesn't exist. They don't have that weekly ritual of spending the entire day scrubbing every corner of the house, nor do they treat cleaning as an epic battle against accumulated dirt. And yet their homes are always clean, organized, and welcoming. The first thing you need to understand is that in Sweden, cleaning isn't a task. It's a habit. It sounds simple, but that changes everything. In many typical households, cleaning is something that piles up and is then tackled in one big effort. The house gets messy, dust settles in, and at the end of the week, we tackle it all in a full day of cleaning. The Swedes do the opposite. They don't let dirt build up. Instead of waiting until Saturday to scrub the entire bathroom, they do quick little cleanups as part of their daily routine. Finished showering, they wipe it down. Made dinner, the kitchen is cleaned right away. Small, frequent actions that prevent dirt from ever becoming a problem. This concept of keeping the home in order constantly prevents that exhausting cycle of mess, cleaning, mess, again. Could it be that we're the ones making cleaning more complicated than it needs to be? Another Swedish secret lies in the way they think about the home's space. In many Swedish homes, everything has a place. Absolutely everything. And more than that, that place is designed so that use and organization happen naturally. They avoid accumulating objects, choose functional furniture, and prioritize practicality over appearance. That way, putting something away isn't a chore. It's just part of the natural flow of the day. When the home is designed to support this flow, clutter simply doesn't form. Here it's worth asking yourself, is your home working for you or against you? How many objects are just sitting there, taking up space without a real purpose? How many pieces of furniture do you have that only take up space and create clutter? Like a TV stand, for example. The Swedish mindset eliminates that from the start. They don't see the home as a storage unit for stuff, but as a living space. And in that space, less is more. And that brings us to the third point, detachment. Swedish culture places a high value on the idea of having only what's necessary. Not because it's trendy or aesthetically pleasing, but because it makes life easier. The fewer objects you own, the less time you have to spend cleaning, organizing, and maintaining them. This isn't about living with almost nothing. It's about living with what truly matters. Imagine you have 30 decorative items on a shelf. Just dusting all of them takes time and energy. Now imagine you have only 5, carefully chosen with real meaning. Cleaning becomes faster, simpler, and the sense of order is immediate. It's this type of thinking that guides Swedish homes. They don't keep things just in case, nor do they hold on to items because they might use them someday. If something isn't useful or loved, it simply goes away. Another interesting habit is the way they connect cleaning to well-being. For many Swedes, a clean home isn't just an aesthetic choice. It's mental health, it's tranquility, it's quality of life. That's why they treat cleaning as part of their self-care routine, not as a boring task that has to be done. It's like brushing your teeth or taking a shower. It's just part of the day, period. When that mindset takes root, the effort stops feeling like effort. And here's an interesting detail. In Sweden, homes are designed from the architecture itself to make cleaning easier. The materials they choose accumulate less dust. The furniture has tall legs to allow a vacuum to pass underneath easily, and the floors are simple to clean. In other words, the house is born with cleaning in mind. It's a long-term way of thinking. Less effort in the future starts with smart choices in the present. Now think with me. How many times have you chosen a piece of furniture or an object for its beauty and then discovered it was a nightmare to clean? How many hours have you lost dealing with unnecessary details? This kind of reflection is part of the Swedish approach. They choose functionality first, and then aesthetics follows, never the other way around. But perhaps the deepest point of all is the Swedish relationship with time. They value life outside the home. They value socializing, resting, leisure. And to have time for that, they avoid getting trapped in long, exhausting chores. That's why there's no cleaning day. Cleaning is spread throughout the daily routine. A few minutes here, a few there. It's the sum of those minutes that keeps everything in order. And guess what? It works. This mindset completely changes the relationship with the home. When cleaning stops being an event and becomes a natural habit, it loses its weight. There's no procrastination because there's no giant task waiting. There's no accumulated stress because nothing accumulates. The house is always in order because order never stopped being present. You might be wondering, but does this really work with kids, pets, and a busy life? It does. Of course, it requires some adaptation, but the Swedes prove it's possible. They teach shared responsibility from an early age. Children learn to put away their toys, clean up small messes they make, and take part in caring for the home. Cleaning doesn't fall on one single person. It's a collective habit. And that raises another question. Aren't we carrying too much of the burden alone? Don't we treat cleaning as the responsibility of one person when it should be part of life for everyone who shares the space? This simple shift in mindset makes an enormous difference. Another interesting point is the Swedish relationship with dirt itself. They're aware that dirt comes from outside, so they prevent it from coming in. They remove their shoes before entering the house, use effective doormats, and don't bring dirty objects from outdoors inside. These small barriers drastically reduce the amount of dirt indoors. The result, much less cleaning is needed. Now be honest. How many times have you walked into your home straight from the street with the same shoes you wore on dirty sidewalks, carrying dust and microorganisms into your living space? Small habits like that might seem insignificant, but over time, they make a difference. Another common practice is keeping spaces well ventilated. Swedes open their windows every day, even in the cold. This prevents moisture, mold, and the buildup of odors. Air circulation means less need for products and intense cleaning sessions. It's nature helping to keep the home healthy. And of course, there's also the use of technology to support the home. Automatic vacuums, efficient microfiber cloths, multifunctional products, all designed to reduce effort and increase efficiency. It's not about working harder, but working smarter. In the end, all of this comes down to one philosophy: prevent instead of fix. Instead of letting dirt take over and then fighting against it, the Swedes make sure it never gets a chance to appear. Instead of organizing chaos, they prevent chaos from forming. And this logic applies not just to cleaning, but to life as a whole. And if you're thinking it's easy for them because they have a different culture, think again. The beauty of this way of living is that you can adapt each of these principles to your own reality. You can start today with simple steps. You can create the habit of cleaning small things every day. You can rethink the number of objects you have in your home. You can reorganize spaces to make order easier. You can even change the way you see cleaning from a burden to a daily act of self-care. The question is, Do we really need massive cleaning days? Or do we need to change the way we live in our homes? Could it be that the secret to an always clean home isn't in the mop, but in the routine? The Swedes don't do big cleaning days because they don't need to, because they don't let dirt win, because they treat the home with respect and consistency, because they understand that the home is a living space, and taking care of it should be a natural part of everyday life. And you? Are you ready to clean less and live more? Are you willing to rethink your habits and transform the way you care for your home? Tell me in the comments, which of these ideas will you put into practice first? And which one do you think would make the biggest difference in your routine? In the end, the answer to why the Swedes don't do deep cleaning is simple, because they never let the house reach the point where it needs one. And maybe that's the greatest secret of all.